Secrets of Happy People, episode 26, Always Having More Than Enough. For several years after his retirement, he did not get his gratuity. It was all embroiled in some inexplicable bureaucratic maze created by human vultures poised on their government seats, waiting to feast on dead retirees. This is a common story in Nigeria, where many of them die of hardship while awaiting their hard-earned entitlements. My father was one of them at the time, a retiree. After a number of years without the gratuity, he got used to managing with whatever little he could eke out from his cottage hotel. What was surprising was that he hardly complained. He was happy, making the best of his situation. In fact, going by things he said, you would be inclined to think that he was living in abundance. The air conditioning system in his Peugeot 504 station wagon gave up, and he did not bother to fix it. This man, who retired at the apex of his career, adjusted. It was too expensive to fix the AC, so he just increased the stock of his handkerchiefs for wiping sweat off his brow. He was that content. And often you would hear him say things like, "God blessed me with more than my fair share of goodness." He would point to his children, his home, his life, and all the things that people ordinarily take for granted. He was a man prone to gratitude. He always felt that he had more than enough. This perhaps was responsible, I thought, for his generosity. He was a compulsive giver. He would share from the relatively little that he had. No wonder he earned the nickname Eresia-Eke, one who hunts and shares. Sometimes he overdid it, though, at least in my judgment, by placing the interests of others far above his. He, for instance, refused to build his own house in the village until he had helped his elder brother, complete his. I just could not believe that a man could do that. But he did, before my very eyes. The internal angst he had to endure from within the family, especially from his better half, because of this, I leave to your imagination. But I admired him greatly because of his subtle strength of character and his stubborn commitment to principles of brotherhood and love that he believed in. But I remember him today because of what happened when eventually, through persistent family effort, he was paid his gratuity well towards the twilight of his years on earth. The money was naturally a lot because of the level at which he retired. What is, however, of interest here is his reaction when he received the money. He took a look and declared that it was too much. He was happy to have received the money, all right, but he clearly had a dilemma of suddenly being in possession of wealth he felt was too much. It was the first time, and probably the only time yet, I have heard a man confront what he legitimately earned and declared it too much. Going further, he backed it with his usual refrain that God has blessed him far more than he deserves. My father was more than a content man. Perhaps that explains why he was such a happy man. And like most of his tribe of happy people, he always felt that he had more than enough. No matter how little he possessed in the eyes of others, in his eyes, in my father's eyes, he was always overblessed. How it is possible to think like that and always feel overblessed, I don't know. But for happy people, it is.